Bourbon is as American as apple pie, and as it turns out, Minnesota is one of the top whiskey-consuming states in the U.S.
Go us. So when the whiskey ambassador for Jim Beam came to town, we had to talk. What resulted is a history lesson on how Beam helped whiskey become less risky to drink, and a recipe from the Doggery in Rochester.
The thirst for American whiskey isn't just exclusive to the U.S. right now. You know, the whole world is very thirsty for what we're doing here in the country.
America's native whiskey, corn-based and known as bourbon, has been around since the 1770s. Jim Beam, the company, has been around almost as long. So while the recent spike in demand has been unprecedented, leading some distillers to ration their products, Beam's experience and global presence is an asset.
When you're talking about an aged product, something that has to rest in a barrel for, let's say 4 years like a bonded, or, upwards of 10 years, how about if I instructed you to go home tonight and lay out your outfit for tomorrow like you did in, grade school, but lay it out for 10 years from now. You have to forecast in that way.
Today's bonded whiskey is a result of Jim Beam wanting to guarantee the quality of their product in an age when adulteration was a real danger.
And so what we did is in 1897, we got the government involved, and every time we made a batch of whiskey, they'd oversee the production of it, and then when we went to bottle, they oversaw the bottling, and it got a stamp which guaranteed that you were drinking the whiskey, the authentic whiskey, as we had made it. It guarantees a 4-year minimum on the whiskey. It guarantees a flat 100 proof, made at one distillery during one distillation season.
So from a drinker's perspective, what does that mean for the flavor?
You're going to get some big, bold flavors in here. What you're going to get is a lot of vanilla. You're going to get some caramel notes. You're going to get a little citrus, and then a touch of oak.
The state of Minnesota is actually a major player when it comes to whiskey sales. Butcher and the Boar in Minneapolis sells the most single-barrel Knob Creek bourbon in the world.
It's very unique for a small market like Rochester to have a cocktail bar.
On a smaller scale, the Doggery Bar is also using bourbon to up the cocktail game in downtown Rochester. Ainsley Jones is the owner and showed us one of his favorite recipes.
What we're making is a Gold Rush.
Okay.
So it's beam bonded with honey syrup and lemon juice, and we're using some bitters from Bitter Cube, the cherry bark vanilla. It's a modern classic. It's kind of a twist on a bee's knees.
In this case, the traditional gin is tossed aside and replaced by bourbon.
2 ounces of the Jim Beam bonded, half an ounce of honey syrup, and then 3/4 ounce of fresh lemon juice, a few dashes of bitters. Give it a nice shake.
Nice golden color, named the Gold Rush. I'm going to use a word that is not meant to offend. It's a dainty little cocktail for having such a strong kick of Beam in it.
Yeah.
It's very easy and approachable to drink.
When's the last time you used dainty as an adjective for
I've never
drink?
used it. Never used it in this context, that's for sure. The recipe for that drink, the Gold Rush, is posted at WCCO.com/Mike's Mix.